I didn't get Yvonne. I didn't get your name. Sorry, Yvonne. At first, you spoke really fast. It was to a point where I couldn't catch you, and then I was thinking, okay, it's very fluent but very fast. So remember, pause, breathe. When you have a lot of information, you still need a pause, or else you'll run out of breath like me. And then another one, Michael, you did pretty well, I think. Except the rolling paper part, which floated in the air the whole time, but you remember your intonations, your pause, which was really good. You had a lot of every time is when you didn't know. If you don't know what to say or you forgot what you're supposed to say, any one of you, pause, continue, okay? Pause and continue. It's okay to pause. When you run out of breath, it's okay to pause. People know that you cannot speak. My mic is running out of battery. You cannot speak in such a speed and in such a hurry. It's okay. But all in all, it was really good. It's just some little points you have to look into. Well done. Okay.
Thank you.
Last group.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Before starting our presentation, I'd like to ask, have everyone have the experience of moving a house? Yes. Yeah? Yes. So, do you have a sense of guilty that when you throw all the furniture away? Yes. Yeah? So, if your answer is yes, then you should find a Screenwork. So, located in London, we help the organization to renovate by collecting the furniture, computers, and all the other stuffs inside your office. And we clean and repair the furniture and collected them and then resell it to the organizations, just like the charities and schools, with a lower price so that they can be benefited. And unlike our competitors who just provide the recycling service, we introduce the reuse concept to our customers. So let's see how we play in the market.
Yes, maybe my groupmate may not provide an impressive figure about the dumping of furniture. Let me give you a fact. In UK, there are about 500,000 tons of furniture are sent to landfill, which means that a football pitch can be filled by these furniture. And so we will provide our product by providing clean-up services for the organizations, and we will repair and clean these furniture in order for them to prepare them to resell them to other SMEs, charities, church, and schools, etc. Now I will pass my time to my groupmates to talk about our promotion strategies.
Okay, for the promotion, we will tell our customer a core message. We will tell them that we will provide a full audit trail, which is something different from all the things that our competitors do. What do we mean by a full audit trail? It's something that we can let our customer to know how much of their furniture has been recycled or reused, so they will know that we have provided a different service to them. And then we'll have a website to tell more information about our company to our customers, and also we'll promote our company through our good reputation, that is the word of mouth, that because our quality is different, is better than the others, so we think our customers will tell their maybe sister companies that we provide good service and ask them to join us. And finally, we will have road shows in some commercial areas and also some busy streets. And finally, we will have an introduction about the place.
For the place, for the storage or the furniture, we like to choose rural areas. This is because the furnitures are big, and also the cost will be much lower. For the delivery of the goods, we would like to cooperate with the moving companies. This is because when people move the office, they would like to call the furniture carriers. And also we would like to deliver our goods to the schools and also the charities, making a proud talk about the price.
For the pricing positions, actually we are able to provide a lower price than our competitors because we actually collect the unwanted furniture from offices, so that our cost of products is lower than our competitors. And after we collect and clean up the office, clean up the furniture, we will using the grading systems to divide our products into different classes. For the good quality products, we will sell at no price to the office, commercial groups, and for the a bit lower quality products, we will offer a discount for some charities and the volunteer groups. I think the lower price than our competitors is our competitive advantages. Yeah, that's it.
Hi. So I have a few questions. Again, roadshow. What is the roadshow going to be about? And what is the roadshow first?
We would like to set up booths in some very popular destination where there will be a lot of visitors and also business people, which is like the equivalent of Central in Hong Kong, where there are a lot of people who can get a message from us through our promotion.
So you guys would actually approach them and give them leaflets?
Probably.
But aren't you guys supposed to work? I mean, if you guys give out leaflets, how many leaflets do you guys need? Okay, and I'm sorry, just kidding about it. But seriously, when you think about it, roadshow, is it as effective? Think about the promotional methods. Another thing is your promotion, your full audit trail. Did you talk, the promotion, the focus is a full audit trail. That means where does the furniture go to? And
Yeah.
also,
Yeah, because according to the report, it's something new and our competitor is not doing the same, so we think it's the selling point.
how does that attract people as a promotion aspect?
If they're environmentally friendly, I think they will support our company because of this.
Okay. Let's talk about each person's performance. I like introduction. You did introduction. It was really good. I like the way you actually, she did something that all of you didn't get a chance to do. The attention grabber. She threw out an attention grabber, which was the question. She raised the question, and then she actually answered the question and provided information, which was really good. I find that very interesting. I think she did really well. The second one, product. It was a little bit, you were a little bit too far away. If with a big group like this, or any group, when you guys are presenting, the presenter will move forward and speak. So when you guys are not presenting, it's best not to stand in front of the audience, so that the attention is only on the presenter and the piece. The promotional, the third party that speak, again, she had to, was it you or was it him? You had to lean forward and go over him in order to reach that as well, move forward. And also a lot of connecting words. So pay attention to not to use as much linking words. I said previously, linking words are not it is quite obvious when you speak, especially. And the one that spoke about price was a little too fast. You didn't face the audience. You were talking about price, but then you didn't face audience. And hand movement, last one. Your hand, I don't know if you know, you were flicking like this, and then going back down, and this, and then going back down. Every time you raised a point, you went like this. For hands, okay, well, thank you, guys. I'll talk about hands in a bit. Okay. Thank you. Your baby. Okay, thank you everyone. It was really, really good. I want to say something. For hand movement. Can I do some more? I hope you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Without the mic, it's okay. My voice should be loud enough. So place your hand around here, okay? Here. So when you want to emphasize, I know some of you want to place emphasis just now, but then I saw a few of you either doing this. Okay, it was like this. Or like this. Or just now I saw some like this. Every time they want to emphasize a point, which was really good when you want to emphasize a point. But when you're talking, usually our hand movement is around here. You want to emphasize, you can speak like this. You want to place more emphasis, move your hand up a little. It should be around chin position, okay? Around chin position. Unfortunately, I was standing behind the counter. I never got to do this. But you guys have a chance to speak up front, and it's 15 minutes. You guys can and should memorize your speech and whatever you're trying to present, so that you guys should only be holding a cue card at most. So when you guys are speaking, try to place emphasis. If you want to place emphasis, you can do this. If you want to speak, that is the highest you can go, around chin area, okay? And you shouldn't cover your face. Don't go like that. Don't go like that. Another thing, when you emphasize here, okay? I know it looks quite odd, but once you get used to it, you should be able to do it, okay? So hand movement should be based on here. When you are talking to the audience, do you move around? Are you allowed to move around? Yes, you are allowed to move around, but the pace, you shouldn't be like this. You shouldn't go past the audience a couple hundred of times talking like this, no movement like that. But you can actually put your feet, it's best not to, for girls especially, I know girls have a tendency of putting your feet together when you stand, which is not smart. Because then when your posture, when you're like this, it goes entirely straight down to your heel, right? And then the whole weight goes downstairs. You have to stand a little bit apart. When you feel tired, usually I lean on one side, finish, I lean on the other side. That's how I usually speak in front of audience. So you try to pay attention, focus to your movement. If you're looking back, look and then come back. If you are tired, put your weight on one side of the leg. You can actually generate both sides and have it lean on the other side as well. So that way, with a little bit of room in between, it's actually better. For gentlemen as well, gentlemen, you can go further. But for ladies, of course, I don't think anyone should stand like that. So just like a fist, pay attention. A fist of room in between should do for everyone, okay? When you speak, face audience, there should be how much time should you have on each audience when you look at everyone, a person in front of you. Usually, it's okay to look at the audience, especially when the judges are right in front of you. It's a good chance to build communication. But at the same time, you have to look at it. If you look at them, if I stare at you for over 6 seconds, I believe you would feel very odd, and I would feel quite shy as well. So honestly speaking, over 6 seconds is not good. So you can actually have different points on looking. So at first you might start off from the middle, because at first you might not be very familiar with the atmosphere. But as you go and proceed, then you can look around, okay? Then you can look around. I'm not sure of the location. I'm going to ask Jim. Where is the location of the
semi-final should be a classroom setting, and the grand final is an exhibition hall, a podium over there.
Okay. So if you are in a classroom around this size, I suppose the
Smaller
classroom...
than
smaller the size, then it's good. Actually, it's a good chance. When you are inside a classroom, then you get to actually feel the atmosphere. The first thing, you walk into the room, you walk in from the door. If I walk in from the door, I look from the four corners before I present. I look and see what is there at four corners. Ensure that you feel how much space you have around you. That way that you feel comfortable, you know the setting of the environment. Then you should know how or where is the projector, where is everything. So as I mentioned before, we are supposed to stand a little bit. If you're right-handed, you stand left. Okay, so lean left on this way, a little bit slanted, if possible. But don't block the way of anything that you're presenting. Okay, so which I think some of you did. And also stay clear. Don't stand in the middle because then it would affect the audience attention. It would drive towards you, not the presentation. Remember, the presentation is the focus after all. Anything else? Okay, let's talk about volume. Will they be given mic for presentation?
Yes.
Okay, you guys will be given mic for presentation, so it is okay with the volume. So volume, the mic you can hold a little bit lower. Try not to hold up to here. I know some people, you guys will sing karaoke like this, right? But then you're not singing karaoke. So keep it around this area. I try to keep it on here if I have to. And the voice projection would attract the audience. So when you come up front at start, I suggest all of you to try to raise your voice up a little bit, okay, at the start. Relaxation, a little bit of a relaxation, well, a little bit of a relaxation exercise. Can I have all of you close your eyes? Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Okay, slowly take 5 deep breaths, 5 deep breaths. Blow in, out, in, out, in, and out. And then think you're on a hot air balloon floating in mid-air. You have no weight on you. You float higher and higher and higher up into the sky. And then you see from a little distance, you see a green piece of land. And then you slowly the balloon goes down, and then you see a beautiful scenery of green, and then you smell green grass, and then you land. Okay? Okay. You guys can open your eyes. Better? Don't know? Okay, so basically this exercise tells you, breathe. When you are scared, breathe. When you are not sure what to say, breathe. Take a deep breath in, out. 2 times, you should be able to relax. If you want to start off, if you are scared at the start, then take 5 slow deep breaths, close your eyes, wait for a moment, open, and look around again. You should be more relaxed on the day, okay? So, intonation. When you talk about intonation, I don't think any one of you have this problem. It's just about linking words. So try not to use a lot of connecting words. Besides, everything is fine. I don't think I need to talk a lot about intonation. Signpost words, language signals. When you are talking about process, it is okay. But I remember one of you said finally a few times, so which is not good. Specific words, do not repeat signpost words. It's very obvious. Even if your partner, your group member said signpost words previously, you do not repeat it because it's quite obvious, okay? It's quite obvious. Excitement in presentation. How can you add a little bit of excitement in presentation? Just now, one of our presenters of group 3 did a little bit of an attention grabber. One of our presenters asked about, when they talked about pricing, they asked about how much does PSP cost? So things that would arouse your audience to generate thinking is a part, is a trick. If they can participate, you can engage, then there's interaction, they feel more comfortable, they're more satisfied, okay? In your presentation, you can create suspense. What is going to happen to the good guy? Think about how movie creates suspense. When you guys feel suspense in movie, there's big problems that you create such a big problem, you can exaggerate your problem. It doesn't mean that you cannot exaggerate. I told you not to exaggerate in your proposal, but in your presentation, it is okay to exaggerate, because presentation, when you present, you are using your verbal, your expression, your facial expression, your voice, everything affects the feelings of people. So if you exaggerate big problem, there's an easy solution. You become the hero. Remember this. So this is the suspense. It's a wonderful opportunity to actually make people like you, make people accept your presentation. Another thing, thrills, surprise and shock. How can you surprise and shock people? Okay, I'm not asking you to actually release a bird or a dove inside a room. That's obviously not accepted, I believe. But if you can actually create something that is out of the ordinary, maybe some noise, maybe your presentation can include a little bit of noise that actually clicks every single time you hit the button, something that is a little bit different. It shows or indicates that that is a main point, or it shows, it indicates that that is something that people should pay attention to, then it would draw them to the attention of that particular point as well, okay? So, or something like what I put up, a model airplane. I remember I saw a presentation many years ago, I believe, when someone released a model airplane as a signal of bird about peace, which was quite attractive. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to release a bird, but a model airplane, which you can actually control, is okay actually, okay? So when you think, what kind of excitement, thrills can you actually create for your presentation? Desire and fear is another thing. Remember, people have desires, people have fears too. People have wants, people have things that they're scared about. What are they scared about? Why is this environmental issue? Why is this social issue something that they should be concerned about? Does it affect their future? Does it affect future generations? Does it affect the economy? Does it affect the society on the whole? What can you create that fear? Can you create that fear to make them realize it is important for them to pay attention to it? As for desire, wants is another thing, okay? Wants is another thing. They want the best. So persuasive words like the best, the most important, to protect yourself and your family, these words you want to make use, or limit time offer, these words you want to make use so that you can actually emphasize and actually arouse their desires and fears. Triumph, happy. When you feel happy, when you portray a problem, place emphasis on its seriousness, then you can actually make them feel, they can release when you tell them, we can help save the orphans, we can win this race. You pay attention to how it creates excitement in them. Although it is a problem, it is something that you and the audience can serve together and help together at the same time. So this creates an unforgettable experience to them as well. So can you input this, something along the lines of making them heroes at the same time? Humor. I don't have much humor, unfortunately, so I'm not very good at presenting humorous topics. However, humor is good to break the ice, a joke, if it's possible. It can be used in the middle, it can be used in the body part. So it helps to actually have them have a good laugh, release their stress, their tense thoughts. They can actually break the ice at the same time. Opposite of humor, vulnerability. When you're vulnerable, when people feel that it's embarrassing, when people feel that you've made a mistake, it is something that would actually arouse a good laugh, and also it would pull the audience to your side, okay? So that is another thing. We won't be posture. I talked a little bit about posture just now. So as I say, it's not a must to put your hand on your waist, but it's better off if you put your hand in front of you, if you know you are going to have a lot of hand movements. Try not to take a pen along with you. The pen, usually what happens is when people have pens, they would click their pen the whole time. I've seen students do this the whole time during presentation because they have to think, so they have to click their pen at the same time. It's not smart to have that. And also like this, don't slap the pen onto the screen, okay? Don't slap the pen onto the screen. It's another thing. Use a laser beam if you have one. If not, I believe they should provide you with one as well. It's possible. So posture, I've talked about it already. Body movement, confidence, body movement. Try always to face the audience. Try not to avoid eye contact. If you avoid a judge's eye contact, people know you're scared. Then the first person they will question is definitely you. Remember this. So remember, the 6 seconds rule, try not to stare at a person for more than 6 seconds. If you stare at them for more than 6 seconds, it will look really odd. But at the same time, if you avoid their eye contact, then they would feel it as well. It shows a little bit of power and authority. For me, where does my power and authority come from? I'll tell you a little secret. It comes from my heels. I don't know if you guys noticed, my heels are very high. For girls, when I look up to the audience, if I am in flats, I would be like around here. But right now, with heels, I'm up here. So when you are talking to the audience, when you're talking, try to be a little bit above their head when you're standing. I know gentlemen, you guys all should be a little bit above the head of the audience, but for me, I'm a little bit tiny, so if without my heels, I wouldn't be this height. So usually before the presentation, I switch into my heels, so I would be a little bit taller, okay? This is my little secret. That is power, and the way you walk, try not to be too fast. Gesture, upper body movement, I've mentioned that already. So upper arms and elbows, more angular action. So I told you in front of your waist. Some expressions, remember, exaggeration is okay. Presentation is a performance. Although it's not supposed to be dramatic, but facial expression helps emphasize on particular things. So when you're moving your face, when you're smiling at people, exaggerate a little to make it an emphasis on that part, okay? Eye contact, look around to see. I know when people are bored, I would stare at them. When I know it is about time, I would stare at them too, okay? So, is everything okay? Does everyone agree with you? Did you speak too fast? Are they bored? Pay attention to these little details. The question and answer time. You do have a question and answer time. So the 20 minutes, make good use of it. Although the judges are the ones who are going to throw you the question, but but prepare for the questions. Don't just go in not knowing, not preparing for any questions. You have to think, there are 20 minutes, how can you win them back? 15 minutes is definitely not enough to explain a proposal that is 20 pages long. So how are you going to win points back in the presentation? By knowing your materials well, by knowing what you know, by knowing what you presented in your proposal well. So the Q&A part is for you to win points back from the judges. Prepared for the questions from the audience, anticipate any possible questions. You can come up with the questions. Because like just now, I have always have questions for every single part, every single one of the presentations, because there are so many questions that arouse in the presentation. There are so many details that people want to know. Remember, you can actually use a reverse questioning method to ask yourself, are there any other things? Listen to the speaker's concern. If they ask you a question, that means that part needs further explanation. It doesn't matter how long you explain it. Explain it until they feel comfortable. You can see in them, if they nod, if they look at you, they understand, okay? So, 4 types of question: the good question, the difficult question, the unnecessary question, the irrelevant question, okay? The good questions and difficult questions we'll deal with first, and then unnecessary and irrelevant. There is a part when you talk about difficult questions. Most difficult questions take time for best answers. So write down some difficult questions that you may come upon, especially if it is something that you are not familiar with. Research about it. Research about it. Come up with a model answer. At least you know what you would speak about. When you control the audience, remember, it is a judging process. You are being questioned about your proposal, your presentation. You have to control your audience at the same time. They are still, after all, your audience. Don't let your audience take over. Set ground rules. You are not allowed to set ground rules under the circumstances. So fully understand the question, answer, respond, stay calm, take time to answer. But if it is something that does not deserve further explanation, you can move on. Lastly, clarification. When you want to clarify, you can ask. Be careful if you miss something you didn't say or someone said something. You should actually wait and for them to finish and correct them, or finish and then explain, or finish and then ask questions. Flow to responding. Listen to the entire question. Listen before you answer until it is complete. Then you answer. Pause. Take 1 second at least. Take 1 second at least, or you can say this: the answer to your question is, and then that will give you a few seconds more, okay? So, repeat the question if possible. So, the question you raised just now, and then answer it. Being honest is the best thing you can do. If you don't know the answer of the question, it means that you haven't prepared well, or to that aspect, it is not something that you know of. You can be honest and tell them, because by being not honest shows that you are not prepared. By being honest, although you're unprepared, at least you're honest. Think about that. So it gains a winning part on your side, a winning point on your side. And also bridge. Ask them questions. Does that answer your question? Does that answer your question is the phrase to ask, okay? So any further answer questions to today's workshop. I think this is the end. So if you have anything, you can email me about any questions. I think we will be having the video online as well. If you guys have any further things you want to talk individually, you can come to me and I'll be here for another 5 minutes, I believe. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a very long session, it's very tiring. So have a good night. I think you guys still have to draw lots later, right? So good luck on it. Good luck.